Hey everybody, welcome to Live from the Owl's Nest. I'm Jamie.
I'm Alicia.
And together we make up Royalwise. Well, what is Royalwise? Well, we are software computer training and support, and we specialize in QuickBooks Online, Microsoft Office, and of course all things Apple. And so Live from the Owl's Nest is our way to kind of stay in touch with you and let you know what's going on in the nest up in our little world here. So let's switch straight to Alicia and hear about what's happening in the Intuit world.
Well, of all the things going on, my actual favorite thing that's going on is I got new glasses that don't have blue blocker lights so that when I'm on camera, you can actually see my eyes. And what I love about them is they look like my logo. See that little logo right down there? Now I look like my logo. So
there you go.
Yeah, but I'm easily amused. Yeah. In the rest of the Intuit world, one of the next pieces of news is it is recertification season. And so if you are already QuickBooks Online certified, either at the core level or at the advanced level, this is the time of year where you need to go back into your course locker and recertify. And I personally love the recertification tests because instead of reproving that you will know how to use the software, which you did already, the recertification exams focus on the new features that have been released because, if your head is down and you're helping your clients and you're getting your work done, you might not be noticing all the new little buttons and all the new little features that are always being rolled out. There's so many innovations in the software. And so by going into your ProAdvisor portal and then going into the training section, there's new training materials that are there, and you can go through the training materials to see what's live and then take your test. My best recommendation for passing your test is to use this particular strategy. Open up the exam itself in Chrome Incognito, but make sure that you tell it that you're to accept pop-ups so that your pop-up blocker turns off. So then you can take the exam in the incognito window and then it doesn't get interfered with caches and cookies and all of that. Then in a regular Chrome window, have the training materials open so that you can flip through the training materials and find the answers to the questions on the exam. And in a different browser, like, if you're using Chrome for the exam, use Firefox or Edge or Safari. Also have open a copy of QuickBooks Online so that you can go flip around to the different sections and find the actual the answers to the questions. Now, next week, Intuit is having a recertification boot camp, and actually a certification and recertification boot camp. So on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can actually get training from myself and my other trainers to find out all the answers to these questions. And so definitely take a look at qbtrainingevents.com so that you can register. And one of the cool things is that some of the exams also have, when you go to take the live event, they give you PDFs of additional support materials that kind of outline the answers even more cleanly. So that's one of my best recommendations that I can make.
And I'm assuming this is an open book test, is what you're telling them.
It is an open book test, yes.
I thought, wow, you get to do what?
There's no way to memorize all of this. Now, because I'm one of the Intuit trainers, I actually tried something new this time. Now, I've been certified for years and years and years, and I teach the certification material for Intuit. So, I wasn't really worried about the material. So there's this thing that the millennials do called speedrunning, where they go through their video games. Instead of trying to find everything, they try and go it through as fast as they can. And this time I tried that myself. I tried to speed run my test, and to my relief, I actually passed it, and I did it in under an hour. Now, that didn't actually give me enough time to really, truly check through all of the material to glean all of the new features, and so I did honestly go back in and reread everything also, but I just do want to take a little point of pride that I was able to make that achievement.
Oh, your son would be so proud of you.
Yeah.
Way to speed run it, Mom. Well, wow, that's great, and you always get recertified. Make sure you got your certifications up and current so you can do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Apple World has been absolutely crazy this month. We've been talking about expecting updates month after month after month, and finally at the beginning of the month they did the spring loaded event. I've already done an Owl's Nest like last week, the week before, where I went over all the new things, the purple iPhone 12, the iPad Pro with the M1 chip in it, the new iMac 27-inch with the M1 chips in it. And so we covered all of that in the last episode, but this time There's a lot more stuff because all the hardware was the first time, and now it's the software. All the new operating systems came out. So I'm going to let Alicia talk a little bit more about more QuickBooks stuff, and then I'll come back and talk about some of the software updates and what the features are you can expect from those guys.
One of the big pieces of news in the industry is that there was an announcement made. It was first broken by Forbes, but it's official as of today, that Divi has been bought out by Bill.com. So Divi is a software, third-party software that I use. I know the guys at the company where you can, instead of like giving all of your employees their own credit cards and then hoping they don't overspend, it's a controlled card system where you can like budget on a particular card, or you can specify what kinds of expenses can go on the card, and you can even turn the cards on and off. So it's an amazing expense management platform, and that's just one thing that it does in financial technology. But I'm really excited for my friends over at Divi, for Chad and Camden and the other guys over there, that it's a great sign of things to come.
Well, big congrats. It's nice to get some recognition and get bought out. Wow, you can't really get any better than that.
Yeah, I'll get bought out.
Get that pay. You think so?
Yeah.
Hey, it's not April Fool's anymore.
Oh, shoot, those
we
April Fool's
tried
jokes.
that one and it didn't.
Some people fell for it.
It didn't fly, right? We can try that all we want, but it didn't fly. Back to me for Apple software. So Spring Loaded event was the beginning of the month, and then just last week, all the operating systems got updated. So Mac OS went to 11.3 for Big Sur on laptops and desktops. For iPhones and iPads, iOS 14.5 came out. Also, the TV OS got updated. The Watch OS got updated to 7.4. So lots of really kind of crazy things.
What are some of the cool new features that you found?
I think the coolest thing that came out of all of this is the new updates to the Watch and the iPhone now allow you to use Face ID to unlock your phone with a mask on.
I'm so happy for that.
Yeah, so if you've got an Apple Watch on and you're trying to do the Face ID with a mask and you've got both of those operating systems in place, the Face ID should be able to recognize you through eyes only, confirming through the watch that you are who you say you are, and unlock your phone wearing a mask. So we think that one is huge.
I do a lot of tap to pay when I'm shopping, and it's always been like tap to pay. Okay, Face ID. Oh no, now I have to pull down my mask, or I have to type in my code. And so I'm really happy that once I do it one time, it's going to remember it for the rest of the day.
Yeah, another really super cool feature, and it seems like all the really cool ones have multiple devices in the mix, but there is a new Apple TV 4K coming out, and then with the new TV OS coming out, you can actually leverage your iPhone 12 camera to color balance your Apple TV. And it's not just the new Apple TV 4K that does it. Older Apple TVs can do it too, but you need the iPhone 12, I think Pro Max, maybe even just the 12, but the new cameras can do it, and you hold your phone up in front of your television away from the TV, and the sensor senses what the lighting is in the room, and then color balances your Apple TV screen so that it's optimal for the lighting in the room, which is...
I'm looking forward to giving that a try because we have notoriously yellow light in my living room. And so I want to see what the TV looks like now.
So that's a pretty cool one. And then the last one that's been getting some news, and I'll just cover it because it's getting news, is called ATT, App Tracking Transparency. And this is kind of that feud we keep talking about between Facebook and Apple. You know, Apple even has their ads now are talking about privacy and security and how that's really their big thing. I've always been a fan of Apple for that. They've come out and said, we don't want your data. We make our money selling hardware. We don't make our money, aggregating data the way a lot of other companies do. The Googles and Facebooks of the world give away a free product and make their money through aggregating data and selling advertising. And so Apple's trying to make sure that we have privacy on our iPhones. And so what this is that it's not allowing apps to track other apps. And so Facebook can't tell what you're doing in Safari, and therefore the Facebook Pixel can't push information over to Facebook, and that ad shows up because I just searched for this in Safari, and now all of a sudden I have an ad in my Facebook feed. And so that's what it's trying to address, is to give us a choice. And that's the one thing I think the media has really missed out, is that it is a choice. You can say allow tracking or ask this app not to track, and it's a personal choice. And Apple has not forced it on everybody and said every app has to and every person has to. They've just given us a way to turn it on and off so that we can control our own privacy.
I mean, on the one hand, I don't want them knowing everything about my life. But on the other hand, if I'm researching something in Safari, it's kind of nice if I'm going to get a discount coupon show up in Facebook. So I'm going to have to kind of try it out and see.
Honestly, some of this app tracking isn't bad. I like targeted ads because I don't really need to see ads that have nothing to do with me. But also just kind of funny enough, this feature had a lot of buzz before it came out, and then it kind of flopped a little bit. We were told that we were going to get pop-ups on any app that was trying to do it, and the day after upgrading, nobody got pop-ups, or very few people got pop-ups. And so it was kind of like, is it working? Is it not working? And so we're still waiting to kind of hear about that, but there was a lot of build up and then kind of a fizzle out. The feature got put out.
So does that mean that it might have been turned on and we don't know?
No, the pop-ups will happen when I believe the feature. I don't know if there was just a bug, and of course, it's 14.5, so I'm sure we'll have 14.5.1 pretty soon, and then we'll see what happens. But if I know, I will make sure. And by the way, if you haven't done this on Facebook, join my Royalwise Apple Community Discussion Group. That's where I'm putting out all my information on Facebook about the new features and discussions about what's happening, and so that's where I'm posting my good information about that. And also, I'm doing some new tips and tricks videos. I just put out a video for how to screen capture your computer using the Screenshots app. Today I just did my first Apple Watch demo, so I'm super excited to get a class out there about the Apple Watch for the first time. And then iPad OS is another class I just haven't done yet. I do iOS and iPhone, but I haven't done iPad OS and what's different about that from the iPhone. So that's another class coming up.
Cool.
You got anything coming up?
I've got things coming up and I've got things coming out. I just spent a couple months putting out some new curriculum, finding some pieces that were missing in my library. And I have a new course, a 2.5-hour course about QuickBooks Online's payroll options. And another one specifically about how to set up QuickBooks Online when you are starting a new company. So like if you were on desktop, do you want to bring over to QuickBooks Online and bring over your old data, or do you want to start over again from scratch? And if you do start again from scratch, how do you do that? So I've got a whole hour just about that topic. And then I also broke out my Banking Center course, which used to be Banking Center and Reconciling. And I realized I had so much to say about using the Banking Center because I'm a total Banking Center geek. I love the banking feeds, that I was giving short shrift to Reconciling. And then when I started putting together the Reconciling course, I realized I had so much to say about how to troubleshoot your QuickBooks by looking at your reconciliation screen and how to find all the errors in your data by looking at Reconcile. That was what was supposed to be a half-an-hour video turned into an hour and a half.
Didn't you get called out on an Intuit training for being so geeky about this stuff?
Mariette actually mentioned being by name, by name, right. A Banking Center geek.
Banking Center geek. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's not me.
I resemble that remark.
Well, congrats on those new classes and those new breakouts. It's really great to get our topics really fine-tuned. So, again, if you're not part of the Royalwise page on Facebook, please come to our Facebook page and like and follow that page. That's where we put out most of our combined stuff. Again, my Royalwise Apple community is out there, and our new marketing guy is telling us we have to ask you to come to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel too.
Yeah.
Because we got a lot of videos coming out there, and we're going to be leveraging YouTube more and more as a video training company.
So look down in the comments for the link to the YouTube channel. Jeff will get them in there. And also, I have another I have another Facebook group called Training for QuickBooks Users. That's my own trainings, but it's also the rest of the community too, that I'm friends with a lot of different QuickBooks trainers and all of the Intuit resources. And so I try and find all the different training opportunities to learn to use QuickBooks Online and desktop and make them available. So check out Training for QuickBooks Users too.
And then ultimately, if you enjoyed this video, give us a like, give us a share, spread it around. I got a couple call outs first. I want to thank Kevin from Jenny Sizzler for coming up and telling us that he's watching these videos and he knows what we do for a living now. Thank you, Jenny Sizzler. We love that. And another shout out. I want to do a personal shout out to Eric Kavanaugh and Nurture Realty. They're a local Portland realty company. We've been doing some cross promotion with a lot of different companies, but Eric was nice enough to put us in his newsletter profile, both of us in his newsletter.
1 month was him and 1 month was me.
So we got to kind of be profiled for his community. And I just want to make sure that we reach out and say Nurture Realty in Portland, Oregon is amazing. If you're selling or buying a home, Shannon Batson is probably the person answering the phone most of the time. So call and talk to Shannon. And then Eric takes the best care of anybody that I've ever seen as far as that stuff goes. So thank you, Nurture. We really love being a part of your community.
Yay, Nurture.
And with that, we good?
We're good.
Okay, well, we are Royalwise. We make learning a hoot. Is that the new phrase?
We make learning a hoot.
We make learning a hoot. So, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time live in the Owl's Nest.
See you in class.